it looks like they are going to be indicting Donald Trump again for the third time. Yeah, that is not a joke. We've got the news today, and we're going to talk about these charges out of the state of Georgia that very likely will be coming here in a second. But first, let me just say that I do not understand what Biden and all of these people are thinking with all of this, okay? The very common talking point I've been seeing on Twitter today is, oh, well, Trump is doing very well in the polls, so, you know, this is all an op to try to hurt Trump. But to that I say, what are you talking about? Because every single time that Trump has been indicted, his popularity goes up, right? Everyone rallies behind him. You know, the movement gets behind him. There's energy. There's a way in which he can present himself. Hey, look, I'm a martyr, right? Everything I've said since 2016 is being vindicated. And even beyond that, right? Even for the independents who maybe the first time thought, oh, okay, well, Manhattan, maybe there's something to that. Oh, well, that's a little strange. Or the second time they said, oh, well, maybe this. Now you're on the third indictment. Even to the independents, to the moderates, to the people sort of in the middle, all this looks like at this point is a completely petty witch hunt, right? Charge him once, shame on you. Charge him twice, shame on you. Charge him 3 times, and you're at the point of, well, it seems very obvious to everyone what is going on here, even the people in the middle, right? And so I don't know what they're thinking. People are saying, oh, it's because Biden is starting to slip in the polls in comparison to Trump with the general election polls, and they're trying to hurt Trump. But I don't know if I buy that thinking, because this is probably just going to help Trump as well. So I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what they're getting at. I know Ron DeSantis people may say, oh, well, you know, they're actually trying to get us all to rally around Trump in the primary, because that way he'll guaranteed to be nominated. And then, you know, the general election, he'll lose to Biden, all that stuff. And I don't even know if I necessarily buy that thinking either, because that is pretty forward thinking on their part. But also, like I said, this stuff helps Trump. It does. Because, you know, because he is the anti-establishment guy, right? He is the populist candidate. So going after him, using the system, using the chambers of government, the establishment to go after Donald Trump only vindicates everything that Donald Trump stands for. Hence why every time this happens to him, everyone just rallies around him. So on so many levels, I don't know what they're thinking. I think they're legitimately just deranged and petty and just trying to throw anything they can find at the wall. But we will give you the details here in a second of what Donald Trump is actually being charged with and what this new indictment is about. Again, I'll break it down here in a second. But first, we need to talk about our sponsors today over at Noble Gold Investments, because, folks, as you could probably imagine, we are headed into a very pivotal election year, which of course means economic uncertainty and likely instability, okay? And in times like these, it has never been a better time to protect your retirement with a gold or precious metals IRA from Noble Gold Investments. Why? Because as you may know, right, many of the Roth IRAs and all this stuff, the stocks connected to them these days are connected to things like BlackRock. And also, as you may be familiar with, right, gold and silver are tangible physical assets that remain relatively stable in times of economic uncertainty. There's a reason why human beings have always used them as the method of currency, and that's why you need to protect your retirement today with a gold or precious metals IRA from our friends. Go check out the link at VinceDaoGold.com. Again, that is VinceDaoGold.com. Protect your retirement, gold, precious metals, retirement accounts at VinceDaoGold.com. Okay, well, getting back to this. So let's talk about what are they actually charging Donald Trump with? Well, it seems like it's going to be connected to that phone call in Georgia. Remember, they ran with this for years. They claimed that, oh, Trump was trying to basically convince the Secretary of State of Georgia to commit voter fraud during the 2020 election. And it all boils down really to this sentence right here. As you may remember, they ran with this for a very long time, where he tells the Secretary of State of Georgia, all I want to do is this. I just want to find 11,780 votes, which is one more than we have because we won the state. Okay, and so I can imagine the specific charges they're going to bring probably have something to do with, oh, well, you know, he was trying to commit a criminal conspiracy, right? He was trying to get the Secretary of State of Georgia to lie to overturn the election. But if you actually look at the full context of this call and kind of listen to it, and by the way, just knowing how Donald Trump feels about this, again, here's the thing. Think what you will of the 2020 election, right? But Donald Trump obviously sincerely believes that the election was stolen from him, right? He sincerely believes he won the state of Georgia. And when you look at the context of this phone call, all he's asking the Secretary of State to do is, hey, look, investigate the election. Hey, look, I think these many dead people voted or this fraud happened. Investigate it, and you need to throw out those votes, right? He even says it here, right? Because we won the state. Where is it? Where he says right here, right? Because we won the state, okay? So this whole idea, in my opinion, that Donald Trump was trying to commit a criminal conspiracy or encourage voter fraud or whatever. Again, think what you will about your own opinion about the outcome of the 2020 election, but I think that's totally dishonest, right? He's clearly telling the Secretary of State of Georgia, I believe I won, and here's the reasons why I believe it, and you need to corroborate that, right? He's not saying, hey, we lost this, guys, we lost the state, but, find a way to make it look like we won. No, he clearly says, right, we won the state. So that's always been my thoughts on this phone call. I mean, they've ran with it for many years and said the same exact thing. Voter fraud, for many different years, criminal conspiracy. I don't believe it. I don't buy it at all. But just so you're familiar, right, this whole phone call, as you may remember, that's sort of the central premise, the reason they're thinking of bringing these charges. So I believe we're still awaiting on a grand jury official decision here, but it's seeming very likely that there will be charges brought here. But let me read for you the Donald Trump official statement in response to this. He says, wow, on Sunday night while I was with my family, having just arrived from the Turning Point event in Florida, where I won the straw poll against all other Republican candidates with 85.7%, with all polls showing me leading the Republican primary by very substantial numbers, almost everyone predicting, which he will, that I will be the Republican nominee for president. By the way, that's the other aspect of this, is if this were an elaborate op by Biden because they want Trump to be the nominee because, they think DeSantis is more electable than Trump, okay, maybe I can understand the last indictment, but Donald Trump already looks like he's going to run away with the primary. So what good does this do other than, again, add to that martyrdom effect, add to the image of Trump facing persecution? Again, so I don't really get this, but we continue reading here. It goes on to say, and as I am leading Democrat Joe Biden in the polls by a lot, horrifying news for our country was given to me by my attorneys. Deranged Jack Smith, the prosecutor with Biden's DOJ, sent a letter. Again, it was Sunday night. Yeah, I didn't even know the federal government worked on Sunday night. Isn't that funny? The federal government never works on the weekends, of course, unless it's to go after Donald Trump. That's kind of funny. Stating that I am a target of the January 6th grand jury investigation and giving me a very 4 short days to report to the grand jury, which almost always means an arrest and indictment. So now, Joe Biden's Attorney General Merrick Garland, who I turned down for the U.S. Supreme Court in retrospect based on his corrupt and unethical actions, together with Biden's Department of Injustice, have effectively issued a third indictment and arrest of Joe Biden's #1 political opponent, who is largely dominating him in the race for the presidency. Nothing like this has ever happened in our country before, or even close. They illegally spied on my campaign, true. They attacked me with a totally fake dossier, blah, blah, blah. We know the Russia story. But on top of all of that, they have now effectively indicted me 3 times, which, well, the third one probably is actually coming here, with a probable 4th one coming in Atlanta, where the DOJ are in strict and possibly illegal coordination with a district attorney whose record on murder and other violent crime is abysmal. Also true. This witch hunt is all about election interference and a complete and total weaponization of law enforcement. It is a very dark and sad period for our nation, which it certainly is. So yeah, I mean, I don't have much else to say. That's the news. That's the story. Obviously very corrupt and petty, frankly, completely petty. And, it's hard because this almost seems less significant than the first two, because how many can you say the same exact time? How many times can you say the same exact thing? Like, we're almost tired out by it by this point, right? Because there's only so many times I can say, this is weaponization of law enforcement. This is a dark day for the country, right? And this is kind of crossing a bridge that we can never come back from, which is the political weaponization of the justice system against political opponents, blah, blah, blah. I think we get the point by now. What I will say, though, is that I think it remains transparently obvious to me that in some way, again, I don't know what their angle is here because I think they're only helping Trump, but clearly in some way, I think they do feel legitimately threatened by Trump. I think if it were just a done deal that he would lose the primary or lose the general election, why would you have to get involved in this? Right? Why would you even have to muddy the waters? Because I think they also understand by doing this, they're running a risk where it could boomerang or backfire on them. So I think the fact that they're trying, the fact that they're kind of playing around with this idea, at the very least to me, shows that in some way they feel threatened and pretty supremely threatened by Trump as a candidate. I don't know. You guys will have to let me know, but there are my thoughts, my initial thoughts. We will certainly talk more about this on the live stream tonight. But yeah, until then, folks, be sure to check out our friends over at Noble Gold Investments. Again, use the link vincedao.gold.com. While you're at it, be sure to sign up for our email list at vincedaotv.com, and be sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you are new. And until next time, folks, I'll see you later. Alpha moves only. God bless. See you guys. Give your thoughts down in the comment section below, and peace. Hey guys, Vince Dao here. Hope you enjoyed that clip from the Vince Dao Show. If you did, be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you are new to the channel. And be sure to check out the Vince Dao Show live every weeknight here on this channel at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. It is a great show. Many are saying this. So leave a like, check out our other clips, and be sure to check out the show.